So, I finally got to go see Assassination Nation, and it was the hottest of hot messes. The social media satire come horror movie got a lot of interest when it played the festival circuit earlier this year, and I can definitely see why. The film tackles so much and its heart and politics are definitely in the right place, but overall the film was just very inconsistent. Sometimes the film script is great, capturing the voices and beliefs of the characters perfectly, but at others it's painful, and it made me want to shake the 33-year-old writer-director Sam Levinson by the collar and shout, "Do you really think this is how teenagers talk?" The script is essentially one huge satire on the way modern technology informs life and politics, and a lot of it is actually pretty good. For such a bombastic, over-the-top, no-fucks-given kind of script, it at times had a lot of nuance, knowing full well that there are no answers to some of the questions that it poses, but posing them anyway. There's a particular brief conversation in a swimming pool that really springs to mind when I think of this. However, in trying to say so much, not all of it lands, and sometimes the overt speech-to-camera moments can come across as far less profound than they were clearly intended. And in addition to this, the film's use of social media sites was also fairly hit or miss. I appreciate the use of sites like 4chan and Reddit, though whatever subreddit these guys are on would have definitely been shut down instantly. But there are times where I had absolutely no idea what these people were doing. Are you guys holding conversations in 10-second Snapchat clips? Cause I have no idea. Most of the film is not like that, and it's not really a major point against the film, but still, speaking as someone who was in school when most of these sites were around, I feel if you're going to make a film about teen life on social media, then it would be, if anything, easier if you portrayed how it actually is. I mean, these methods of communication aren't as strange as you think. Similarly to the script, the directing's also a massive mixed bag. The show-stopping sequences where a lot of effort was put into the film's visuals, lighting, and pacing are uniformly phenomenal. There's an amazing split-screen sequence at a party and a massive thriller-type moment that was very reminiscent of the fantastic opening shot of A Shot in the Dark, and both these scenes were great. Yet outside of the film's set pieces, it can feel rather flat and bland, almost like an old made-for-TV movie, and that's a real shame. There's also a time jump in the film, and it's one of the most baffling decisions I've seen in a long while. I get where he was going with this, but it comes across as rather jarring, and not in a good way. And suddenly after that moment we're in an entirely different movie, and a much more conventional film at that, to the extent where it's almost a copy of a certain horror franchise. And though I did love how full on the film goes, fully earning its 18 rating and almost going full exploitation, it's still a shame how conventional the third act feels, despite its violence. The acting was fine. I'm glad John McHale is getting work, but the standouts are most definitely Hareen Neff as Bex and Odessa Young as Lily, who make up half of the film's main cohort of 4. Young especially has a few really emotionally intense scenes. She pulls them off really well. It's just a shame that these scenes are followed by the aforementioned 1 week later, which totally takes you out of the film. I would be lying if I said I didn't massively enjoy this film. Its politics are at times cathartic, especially in the film's final moments, and its violence hits the right balance of blood and fun. There are also a few good laughs to be had, with a couple of moments that had me laughing long after the scene had finished. But guys, it's still a total mess. Despite the fact I do want to watch this film again, I can't pretend that this is anything other than what it is. I loved it at times, but at others I hated it. This is probably closer to a 5, but because I enjoyed it so much, I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10.